Since the late 1980s, we have been witnessing a wave of decentralization globally, which is founded on the idea of making governance more participatory and inclusive. In 1992, India embraced this wave and amended its constitution with the intent to strengthen grassroots-level democracy by decentralizing governance and empowering local political bodies. But what does this process involve? How is it structured? What is a local government and why is it so important? In this IDR Explains video, we will answer all of this and more. Let us first look at the background. In India, the passing of the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendments made it mandatory for each state to constitute rural and urban local governments, to establish mechanisms to fund them, and to carry out local elections every 5 years. This was based on the notion that people need to have a say in decisions that affect their lives, and local problems are best solved by local solutions. How is India's governance system structured? With the introduction of the constitutional amendments, India's two-tier system of a central and state government was transformed into a three-tier one, with the local level below the state. In the case of rural areas, there are three nested bodies. At the apex is the district council or Zilla Parishad. Zilla Parishads are made up of a cluster of block councils or panchayat samitis, and panchayat samitis are made up of village councils or gram panchayats. Each village has a village assembly or gram sabha comprising of all adults in the village who have the power to directly elect members of the panchayat. Similarly, in urban areas, there are three types of local bodies: the municipal corporations or Mahanagar Palikas for areas with a population of more than 1 million, the municipal councils or Nagar Palikas for areas with less than 1 million people, and town councils or Nagar Panchayats for areas transitioning from rural to urban. Local government institutions are made up of directly elected representatives and indirectly elected representatives. A minimum of 1/3 of the seats in all local bodies are reserved for women. Seats are also reserved for people belonging to scheduled castes, scheduled tribes, and other backward classes. Let us now have a look at the functions of the local government. In line with their objective of promoting local economic development and social justice, local government bodies have the power to prepare development plans for the areas they serve and to implement a wide range of schemes which include but are not limited to health, education, poverty alleviation, housing, promotion of small-scale industries, and much more. However, since individual state governments are responsible for the functioning of their respective local governments, the actual powers and functions of these institutions are highly dependent on the laws of the state in which they operate. When it comes to rural development, the Panchayati Raj institution play a threefold role. Number 1, administrative activities such as the maintenance of village records, the construction, maintenance and repair of roads, tanks, wells, and so on. Number 2, improving socio-economic welfare through the promotion of rural industries, health, education, women and child welfare, among others. And number 3, judicial functions such as trying small civil and criminal cases. How are these local bodies funded? States are required to set up a state finance commission once every 5 years to review the financial position of local government institutions and to make recommendations to the state governments in order to ensure that local bodies have adequate financial resources to function. Broadly, local bodies have two main sources of revenue. Number 1, internal, which is what they raise themselves, either through taxes such as land or property tax, or through non-tax sources, which includes rents and user fees. And number 2 is external revenue sources, which include assigned revenue and grants in aid and loans from the central and state governments. Due to the differing nature of functions performed, the exact sources of revenue vary for rural and urban local bodies. Now let us look at the challenges that these local bodies face. In India, despite political decentralization being successfully achieved through the establishment of local government bodies, the actual transfer of functions, finances, and functionaries to these institutions remains incomplete. The power to devolve functions to local governments rests with the state government. The capacity of local bodies to carry out their mandate is often circumscribed by state government officials, while the secretariats of local governments are grossly understaffed and underskilled and are hence unable to provide the required support to the elected bodies. India's local governance system needs to be empowered adequately to ensure that power truly rests with the people, not just on paper, but also in practice. While local governments form an integral part of ensuring development at the grassroots level, the onus also rests on the entire system, starting from the center to state to the district administrations, to work like a well-oiled machine in order for the steady and smooth functioning of local government in securing the goal it has set out for.